Good morning, church. My name is Baron Brock. I'm going to be doing the morning devotional with you guys. And today we're going to be in Luke 6:41 through 42, if you want to go ahead and turn there. To give some context about where we're at, this is a pretty known section. A lot of people probably know the section in Matthew a little better, but we're going to be in Luke today. So Jesus has been giving the parables. He's gone over things like the Beatitudes, loving your enemy. And right before this, he even mentions the blind, leading the blind, how that doesn't really work, as you can imagine. And even this concept of the disciple is never greater than his teacher. And then we get to jump into this really famous section of Scripture I'm super excited to share. So let's go ahead and jump in. So Luke 6:41. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, Brother, let me remove the speck that is in your eye, when you yourself do not see the plank that is in your own eye? Hypocrite! First remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck that is in your brother's eye. So Jesus now confronts people who are judging others while they themselves are full of actions that should be condemned, right? So you're kind of living a hypocritical life, right? You're condemning one person for the same things that you're secretly doing. And it is kind of interesting how we always manage to hide our sin in light of other people's sin, right? But so kind of on a personal note with this analogy, I'm renovating my house. So this log and dust speck idea really makes sense to me. It's kind of like, I think about if you had a massive big 2x4 sticking out of your eye, and you're walking around, you're probably breaking stuff and hitting things. And then you look down at your brother and you see that you have like a speck of sawdust. That's kind of what the Greek implies, super small, and you're like, hey, you need to get that out of your eye. You need to be able to see clearly. You start berating this person. You kind of look stupid, right, when you're doing that. So when you think of it that way, that kind of analogy, it really doesn't make any sense to judge other people when you're living a hypocritical lifestyle, right? And one thing that I do want to note is that the speck does matter, right? Jesus does finish the parable by saying, hey, we should remove that speck from someone's eye. Even a sin as small as a little piece of sawdust, a tiny little thing of dust, needs to be removed from us. But we need to live that out in ourselves first, right? We can't force that on other people if we ourselves are not even living to that standard. And Jesus uses the word brother to describe the person that we're interacting with. And in the Greek, that's literally kind of what it is, right? A familial tie, someone close to you. It's often used of believers or fellow Israelites, right? And so that point is interesting that Jesus uses the word brother here versus just another person, because it gives us a glimpse into the motivation of why we would want to remove that speck, right? This is a brother that we love, a fellow believer, and we should desire that they see clearly, right? That their eyesight should not be clouded. And so out of that love, right, because of that relationship, we have to first check ourselves. And this morning, that's really what I want to challenge you with. Let's check our eyes, right? Let's see what's in there. Is pride making me ignorant of sin that's blatant in my life? Is envy keeping me from being content with what the Lord has given me? Is anger the driving factor of my life? And this is the big one too. Do I love my brother enough in the ministry of helping others, right? Serving the church body, helping them remove those specks, enough to confront my own sin, right? That's kind of the hard challenge that I want to leave you guys with. Do I love my brother enough? Do I love the ministry of helping people enough to confront the own sin in my life, right? As David would say in the Psalms, he says this in Psalms 139. This is verse 23. He says, Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. I challenge you guys this morning. I'm even a little challenged myself with this to say, Lord, pray this dangerous prayer, right, of check my heart. Is there a plank in my eye? But it's because I love my brother. I love the work of the ministry to be able to help remove those specks in other people's lives. So I need to first do that in my own life. I pray this encourages you. I pray this challenges you. Have a great rest of your day.